Thank you for joining SureCall to participate in this Certified Installer Training course. We are excited for you to enter into a new market sector with huge demand and high profit margins. Let's first learn a little bit more about SureCall as a company. Founded in 2001 and based in the Silicon Valley, SureCall is an industry leader in cellular signal booster technology. Customers include the military, state departments, Pfizer, NASA, Hewlett-Packard, and other Fortune 500 companies. SureCall is committed to developing new products that address the changing needs of all types of cellular and mobile broadband users and solutions providers. SureCall has the best in-house technical support team and an industry-leading 60-day money-back guarantee to back up their 3-year manufacturer's warranty and 1% return rate. In this training, we will cover how to determine a solution for a building with low internal cellular signal, the importance of the site survey, basic installation techniques, the benefits of becoming a certified installer, and what happens next, including our tier program and certification test. Before we can determine a solution, we must know what is causing the problem. So what exactly causes weak cellular signal inside buildings? There are 3 main culprits that are causing this issue. The first is building materials themselves, things like low E-glass and metal and concrete. The second is terrain, things like mountains and valleys, but also the foliage outside of a building can actually absorb radio waves. Also the distance from the cellular tower. You could either be too far from the tower, or you could be too close. Let's take a look at the main markets that SureCall boosters consistently succeed in. Each of these applications have different solution needs and different challenges to consider. Large buildings have things like elevator shafts, tall roofs, nearby cell towers as they are typically in densely populated areas, and E-glass that keeps signals from reaching the inside of the building. Schools and universities have smaller areas that still have a lot of simultaneous users. Buildings are typically made of concrete and they're spread out around a larger campus. Hotels have a high demand for indoor coverage enhancement, but also have a high demand for aesthetics, so placing internal and external antennas can be challenging. Hospitals share the challenges of large buildings, universities, and their own challenges. There are many areas in hospitals that might need no coverage because of sensitive equipment and often have concrete internal structures as well as elevator shafts. So how can SureCall help? SureCall provides a free-to-use service in order to configure system layouts for commercial applications above 10,000 square feet. 2 key pieces of information we need are a detailed floor plan of the building or area that needs cellular coverage enhancement, and a completed SureCall site survey form or commercial installation questionnaire. By complete, I mean we cannot accept answers like unknown or see floor plans on this site survey. Provide a floor plan that includes approximate dimensions utilizing square footage. We understand that there are sometimes scales provided on the plans, but often the scaling is different because of the tools that we use to view the floor plans, so please include the approximate dimensions on the site survey form. Utilize a signal meter to record signal strength on the floor plan both inside and outside on all sides of the building. It's imperative to include all local carrier signal strengths in dB. To get accurate signal strength readings, we suggest using an RF signal meter. Using your phone to read bars limits the accuracy of the reading because it only records your carrier, the portion of the RF spectrum you are on, and always shows the strongest band, whether that be 3G voice or 4G data. One of the big reasons you want to include all carriers is because our boosters are wideband boosters. If there is a competing tower really close that is using the same frequency as your carrier, it's possible that the signal could be too strong coming into the booster and you won't see an increase in your carrier's signal strength inside. Here are some helpful links that we at SureCall have used in order to find out more information about the carrier networks in a given area. Both Cell Reception and OpenSignal are tower search tools. Wireless Advisor shows what frequencies the carriers are on in a given location, and the spec map validates carrier block. You can see that the places in red here on the map are areas where Verizon uses the B block on the cellular network. Look out for signals that are stronger than -65 dB that may cause an overload in the booster and automatic gain reduction. Also look out for signal strength that is too poor. Anything lower than a -95 dB may be too weak for the system to work to its full potential. We have to have some amount of signal getting into the booster before that signal can be amplified. Our target starting signal is between -65 and -95 dB. Here you can see a side-by-side comparison of a bad site survey and a properly completed site survey. As you can see on the bad site survey, many of the answers state C floor plan. Once again, things like C floor plan or unknown are unacceptable answers and need to be addressed. Another thing that helps with configuring a system is knowing where the customer is expecting to house the boosters inside the building. Please indicate this information on the floor plans themselves. Finding the outside signal strength is essential, but with SureCall's RF signal meter, it's an easy task. This is an essential site survey tool that detects signal from all carriers, has easy-to-follow instructions, is rechargeable and portable, but also produces reliable results. It searches the signal strength for AWS, PCS, cellular, and LTE frequencies. It includes adapters that allow you to plug the signal meter directly into your exterior or donor antenna, but also at the end of your runs where you're expecting to put your interior or broadcast antenna. That makes this not just a site survey tool, but also an installation tool. SureCall's RF signal meter offers 3 distinct modes, allowing you to inspect each frequency to eliminate all overload or limited signal issues prior to installation. Simply hold down the mode button to toggle between modes. Mode 1 allows for signal readings to be taken by blocks within each frequency band. Mode 2 allows you to sift through each frequency band in 5 MHz increments. Mode 3 provides an average signal strength for each full band by frequency. Once the site survey has been completed and sent to us along with a copy of the floor plans, you will receive a suggested system layout similar to this one within 3 to 5 business days. Along with the configuration, you will receive a list of components and part numbers necessary to create a bill of materials. Most of the time, the suggested materials will come in a kit. Things like coax cables, splitters, and antennas will automatically be included. Now that you have a list of components and a configuration, let's take a quick look at the components in a booster system. The components that will come in a SureCall's cellular signal booster kit are the booster, an indoor and outdoor antenna, cables, and a splitter for multi-antenna kits. A lightning protector is not automatically included, but it is always recommended. There is some customization available in these kits, and most of that has to do with the type and number of antennas included. So let's take a look at some of our more popular consumer-grade boosters and what kinds of applications they're typically used for. For smaller applications, we have the Fusion 5S. The Fusion 5S is an all-carrier voice and data cell phone booster with Sentry remote monitoring capabilities. By using more than one system, you can cover 6,000 to 12,000 square feet for 2G, 3G, and 4G LTE. Some unique features of this booster include separate lanes for uplink and downlink, which increases the number of simultaneous users to 6 to 8 per system. It also has enhanced cellular and data reception for areas of 6,000 square feet. It has adjustable attenuation dials for each band, which is an industry exclusive, and also has the remote monitoring Sentry system and lifetime tech support. This is a great unit for small businesses or businesses who are not expecting a lot of simultaneous traffic. The Force 5 is by far SureCall's most popular booster for commercial applications. Some of its unique features include linear design, which increases the number of simultaneous users to 100 plus per band. It provides all-carrier enhanced cellular and data reception for areas of 20,000 to 25,000 square feet per booster. Additional systems can be added for larger areas. It's carrier accepted. All you have to do is register the booster online with the carrier. It also has adjustable attenuation dip switches for each frequency on both uplink and downlink. Some ideal applications that the Force 5 can be used on are universities, churches, hotels, hospitals, and multi-story buildings. The Sentry is an add-on to the Force 5 and Fusion 5S that will add value to your product service offerings by allowing you to remotely monitor and digitally attenuate the Force 5 and Fusion 5S. It allows you to quickly pinpoint malfunctions due to unforeseen changes such as newly installed cellular towers or repeater systems. It also immediately notifies installers or end users via email about booster failures or overpowering. The Sentry remote monitoring system will send the registered user an email notification if the booster starts overpowering from too much incoming signal, or if the system is detecting oscillation or feedback from a lack of proper separation. One quick reminder about the FCC requirements associated with our boosters. All consumer-grade boosters must be registered prior to activation. The boosters will operate without being registered, but in order for the carriers to officially allow them to be used on their network, they must be registered online. Here are the websites where you can register with the carriers. In addition to the consumer-grade boosters, SureCall also has industrial-grade boosters available. This is the Force 5 industrial solution. It's an 80 dB wideband 3-watt booster for industrial applications. It provides all carrier-enhanced cellular and data reception for areas of up to 80,000 square feet. Additional systems can be added for larger areas, and while it is FCC certified, it does require direct carrier approval. It also has adjustable attenuation dip switches for each frequency on both the uplink and the downlink. Popular industrial applications include business complexes, parking garages, MDUs, and carrier contracts. Each of the consumer-grade boosters must be sold in a complete kit, and these kits will give you options for both the exterior and interior antennas. There are even options for using multiple indoor antennas. A big part of determining or suggesting a system starts with exterior or donor antenna selection. The omni-donor antenna is great for situations where the outside signal is sufficient, but the inside signal is poor because of the makeup of the building. The Yagi is best used in situations where there is poor outside signal to begin with, or if the needed carrier's tower is far away. SureCall offers two different types of interior or broadcast antenna selections. The dome antenna is used for covering large places on floors that have standard drop-down ceilings. The panel is used for tall ceilings, multiple floors as in a multi-floor residence, and also long hallways. So far, we have identified the need for a solution and have a configuration and a bill of materials. Now we need to actually put the system in. SureCall's brand of enterprise signal boosters are unique in many ways. One of the advantages for installers is that they have dip switches to allow you to attenuate the uplink and downlink separately for each band. Each band has its own set of dip switches for both uplink and downlink. Each signal booster from SureCall is shipped at full gain and ideally should be set up to not need any attenuation. Inline attenuators seen at the top right are also available to help regulate the incoming signal if it is too strong across multiple bands and the booster is overpowering. In smaller applications, the attenuation dials allow you to control how big or small the square footage is that comes out of the broadcast antenna. This helps in shared business spaces or focused coverage needs. It also helps if you cannot get adequate separation between the antennas. Antenna separation is key in creating a properly working system. On a typical 72 dB booster, 50 to 60 feet is needed between the outside and the closest inside antenna, and that's a linear distance and not necessarily a cable run. We are trying to prevent the system from creating oscillation. There are many ways to do this, but the easiest way is to make sure that the antennas have enough linear distance from each other. This section will focus on material dB loss, cable loss, and the ability to combine systems. We will look at combining systems first. It is possible and even common practice to need more than one system to provide signal saturation in commercial applications. Since these boosters are sold as kits with an outside donor antenna included, you can simply mount an outside antenna for every booster system. However, what if you need 5 systems, or 10, or 15? You can easily combine multiple systems into a single outdoor antenna using a wideband splitter. Here is a configuration where we combined 4 systems into one outdoor antenna. You can add as many as 10 systems onto one outside donor antenna, but as these systems will always come in kits, you will have extra outside antennas when the job is done. Here you can see a small office that was too big for a Fusion 5S, but only had about 12 people in the office, so we went with 2 Fusion 5 kits. In industrial applications, you can use multiple industrial Force 5s to cover larger areas of square footage with less boosters. But remember, the industrial boosters do require you to have carrier approval for the design and installation before you activate the system. This is a hospital that was done. Many hospitals and government buildings require plenum-rated cable to be installed, so all they needed for the configuration was the antenna drops and where the boosters will be housed. We are always flexible in the configuration process. The only thing we ask for is accurate and open communication. Let's move to material dB loss. Every component in a SureCall booster system is working toward the incoming signal's strength's increase, but also its decrease. Cables, antennas, the booster, splitters, the internal structure of the building, and even the air itself can increase and decrease the strength and quality of the output signal. Here you can see the expected gain from a Force 5 with just one internal antenna. You can see here that the starting signal is negative 80 dBm, and the output signal at the antenna for the Force 5 is negative 65.25 dBm. As you can see here, as we add more antennas, the dBm strength changes. Here we have an expected output signal that is similar to the outside signal. With the regulations and restrictions now placed on signal boosters, we are no longer going from 2 bars to 5 bars indoors. We are now more closely replicating the signal from the outside. You also have the indoor environment and structures to worry about when you are mapping out and configuring a system. That's why it's so important to have accurate floor plans when considering the number and type of booster kits needed to fit your customer's space. Each type of material has a different absorption rate. As you can see, if you have an office building with drywall and windows, the radiation pattern will be stronger than in a building with a lot of concrete or metal firewalls. SureCall offers a full line of installer tools, including crimping and stripping tools. Each of these tools are essential in creating a fully equipped and professional installer. Now we will talk about some antenna placement tricks. Let's say that your customer's building is here represented by the blue. And let's say that the tower that they need coverage from is noted here with the arrow. As you can see, there is a tower very close to the south. So there are some things that we can do using directional antennas. Use a Yagi directional antenna and point it straight at the carrier's tower. It is quite possible that now you will have too much signal coming into the system. But don't fret, there's more we can do. As you move the Yagi directional antenna away from the carrier tower, that overpowering issue will go away. Not only can this process help with overpowering issues, but you can also balance the incoming signal from multiple towers this way. If you can't get enough separation between the donor and broadcast antennas, try pointing the antennas away from each other. Make sure the donor antenna is higher than the broadcast antenna. You can also place the outside antenna so that the existing HVAC or elevator shaft is between the two antennas. This will increase the amount of attenuation between the two antennas. SureCall's dome antennas have a capacity of about 10,000 square feet of coverage. That means if you have a single antenna on a Force 5, you can get 10,000 square feet of coverage. If you have 2 antennas on a Force 5, you can get 20,000 square feet of coverage. If you choose the kit that has 4 indoor antennas, you can get 25,000 square feet. So why isn't that number 40,000? Well, the booster itself also has a capacity. The 72 dB Force 5 has an output capacity of 25,000 square feet maximum. Each certified installer has access to marketing support from SureCall, including brochures and datasheets, dedicated tech support, and a certified installer badge that you can use on your website and literature. You will also have access to specials that are dedicated to our dealer market. As this video comes to a close, what are the next steps? We are creating an installer tier model that will reward installers that are making this a regular add-on to their products and services. Each tier will require different and/or additional training, and the benefits to these tiers are still being developed. The next step for this course is you will be sent a handbook and an exam that will cover what's in that handbook, as well as some of the content from this presentation. If you are not able to pass the test, there will be more opportunities that will be discussed with you one-on-one. If you haven't done so already, I encourage you to subscribe to SureCall University on YouTube to stay up to date on things like troubleshooting and featured products. Here are some SureCall contacts for things like configuration assistance and tech support. Thank you for choosing SureCall to help raise your bars.